Yeah, we are laying up good stuff. Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Backdraft and welcome to another episode on the Symmetria server. This is episode number 17. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, in the last episode, we finally made some big progress on this side of the palace. So, in a couple live streams and what was shown on video, we finished up this little foyer room on this end of the palace next to the mob farm over here, and we built our super smelter slash forge room in the palace, which turned out really awesome. So like I said in the last episode, I wanted to make this room look like it was used, look like it was kind of worn in, like it was constantly being ran through by an army of Agrabah Palace guards. And of course we have two bamboo farms in the twin towers above us right here in the palace, which are feeding the fuel down into the super smelter. And right now we have probably almost 10 double chests full of bamboo, and we have the fueling of the super smelter happening automatically, which is right underneath there. So we got some pretty good use out of this already. We've smelted up some glass and a bunch of other things. And of course, we're going to be getting a lot more use out of this season. The facelift to our floor with the cyan glass that you saw in the foyer over there was also applied to the storage room, and it is looking super awesome. And of course, in another live stream, we finished up this side of the palace as well, this little foyer slash hallway area. And we made it look super awesome using the same palette that we did the foyer on the other side. But in this episode, I want to concentrate on this room. This is actually the very last room that we have and the inside of the base that we need to do. And you may have heard a couple sounds. There was another one. They're hinting at what I'm going to be doing in this room. So I'd like everybody to meet Senior Philip and Dr. Morris. These are our two villager friends, of course, named by some pretty hilarious folks that watch my streams. Yeah, the two villagers that are going to be the start of our villager breeder and our villager workshop slash trading hall that we're going to be building in this room of the palace. And once we finish up this room, this is it for the inside of the palace. That is all, and then we can concentrate on working on the throne room up top and the two foyer slash patio areas, I guess is what you would call them, on either side of the throne room in the center of the palace, and of course the gardens. And eventually, within the next episode or two, I finally want to get started on the city of Agrabah outside of the front of the palace. So this is where we're going to be concentrating most of our efforts this episode. But before we get into that, there is something we have to do first. Since the start of the season, everyone has been aware that I have been collecting up gold blocks. I built an extremely efficient gold farm on the server, and we've been doing all kinds of AFK sessions for ourselves, and there's a bunch of other Symmetrians that have been helping us out with AFK sessions. We also got some Christmas presents. We got a ton of gold blocks banked up in these 4.5 double chests right here. And we finally have enough gold to do all of the spires around our base. So all of the yellow concrete that you see on these spires here is going to be no more. We are finally going to replace all of it with gold blocks and give our palace a nice shiny new sheen look. And the only reason I planned on doing this is because I promised it at the beginning of the season, and it's a major flex. I mean, who doesn't want a palace made out of solid gold? So I don't think we're going to do a time lapse for this. We might do a little bit of one, but I don't want to bore you guys to death with me just replacing all of the yellow concrete with gold blocks. I mainly just want to show you the comparison between the yellow concrete and the gold blocks once I'm done. And of course, I'll give you guys some progress updates. So the first thing that we're going to do in this episode is we're going to get started with this effort. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's probably going to take several hours, but I'll keep you guys posted along the way. So many gold blocks. Ugh. You know, after staring at yellow and gold for so long, they don't even seem like real colors anymore. It's kind of like repeating a word over and over and over again, and then it starts to lose its meaning. Yeah, this is kind of how I'm starting to feel with these colors. Alrighty, we have 3 of the 7 towers done. Well, I guess the middle one probably counts for more like 2 or 3 towers. But anyway, the 3 towers directly behind me of the palace have now been completely redone to use the gold blocks instead of the yellow concrete. And you can see there is quite a contrast between the original yellow concrete and the gold blocks. But honestly, I think I like them both just the same. They both make the palace look a little eccentric in their own ways, I think. Although the gold, like I said, is just a major flex. And I promised everybody I was gonna do it. And I gathered up all the gold. It took 5 months, but now I have it. And here I am just rambling because I've been staring at gold and yellow for the past 3 hours and I'm losing my mind. On to the next tower. There is so much yellow concrete, yellow concrete, yellow concrete. There is so much yellow concrete, yellow concrete, yellow concrete. Huh. You know, thinking about this now that I'm in the middle of it and I'm almost done, doing a time lapse for this would have probably made the most sense out of anything I've done this season, seeing as I've been doing this for about 11 hours. And really, all in all, I'm really only gonna have maybe 3 or 4 minutes of footage for this whole thing after I talk about it and show you guys everything that's been done and all that and compare it to the original and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking with this. I probably should have put this into a time lapse. But I guess we live and we learn. My shoulder hurts, my hip hurts, my back hurts, my head hurts. I have carpal tunnel. And I've sat here for the last 12 hours placing gold blocks. And here we are, the final 3. And that is that. Uno, dos, tres. I love gold. I'm gonna go check myself in. 4.5 months of block collection, 12 hours of mining, clicking, and replacing the yellow concrete, and we are finally done! Our major flex of the season is in place, ladies and gentlemen. I have completely lost my mind staring at yellow for so long, but we are finally done. This is amazing. Everybody on the server, if you get a chance, come over, see it for yourself. There is so much gold, over 15,000 gold blocks. That's over 100,000 gold ingots that we had to farm and almost 1 million gold nuggets. Almost 1 million. I actually think it might be over 1 million. I have to do the exact math. Now, the one thing that I've heard and that I also agree with is going from connected textures with the yellow concrete into a non-connected texture with the gold makes it look a little off and kind of takes away from the, I guess, roundness of the spires, and I don't really like it. But we can actually fix it because a good friend of mine made us a custom texture, and all I have to do is snap my fingers. And we have connected textures for the gold blocks. This looks so much better if you ask me. So the edges around each of the gold blocks just kind of made it a little more blocky looking. The further away you get from the palace, the more that you'll be able to see that the ovicular spires at the top of each of the towers really have a nice shape. Being this close kind of takes away from it. I can actually fly away, and the further away you get, like I said, hopefully it doesn't unload, but the further away you get, the better it starts to look in terms of it being ovicular, and that's kind of how it is when you're dealing with Minecraft. Like, look at that. It's totally awesome. I love it so much. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the connected texture. This was made by a good friend of mine and a longtime viewer, guy by the name of Drachenex. I'll leave his channel in the description. He doesn't really do too much Minecraft on his channel, but you guys can go check him out. Very awesome connected texture. And let me know your guys' thoughts and give me a GG or a POG or whatever the heck you guys are doing these days down in the comments for using this gold and doing this major flex on this server. Now, we can finally do something else. One thing I've been meaning to do for a while now, ever since I got my storage system up and running, is stock up on shulker boxes. Now, the reason I want to do this is because in my storage system, I only have 1 chest per item, which is fine because we could just get a ton of shulker boxes and then we can store way more items per chest. Now, the thing is, I really don't have many spare shulker boxes right now, and since this is a server with tons of people on it, most of the end cities have already been raided and there's pretty much no more shulkers to be found in a reasonable place in the end. But fortunately, we have a data pack on this server that allows you to create shulker farms, because if you take a purple block and spam click ender pearls on top of it, an endermite will eventually spawn, and with the endermite on top of the purple block will turn into a live shulker. Thus, you can make a shulker farm. And we already have a community shulker farm built on this server, which is super awesome. You just have to provide your own purple blocks. So I went into the end and grabbed a few chorus flowers, and eventually these bad boys will grow up into full-fledged chorus plants, and we'll just keep farming until we have a ton of purple blocks to convert into live shulkers. I'll probably look to get maybe a shulker box full of purple blocks, and that means pretty much every purple block has the potential to become a shulker box, because we also have another data pack installed that ensures every shulker will drop 2 shulker shells upon death. So pretty soon we're gonna have a ton of shulker boxes, and once I have all of the purple blocks that I need, I'm gonna head over to the farm and show you guys how it works, but we're gonna have to wait a while for all of these bad boys to grow up. So after about an hour of chorus fruit farming, I have decided that getting a whole shulker box of chorus fruit is a little bit of overkill right now, and would probably take quite a while since I don't have an official chorus fruit farm. So this is what we ended up with after about an hour of farming back and forth. So about 3 stacks and then some of chorus fruit. So essentially, since 1 chorus fruit converts to 1 popped chorus fruit, and then 1 popped chorus fruit converts to 1 purple block, when you have 4 chorus fruit equals 4 purple blocks. So this should be plenty for now. We're gonna get about 3 stacks and 36 of purple blocks, which essentially translates to 3 stacks and 36 shulker boxes, which is way more than enough that I'm gonna need for now. So until we can build an official chorus fruit farm, I think this will work just fine. So we're gonna pop all of this over into the super smelter and convert it into purple blocks, and then we're gonna head over to the shulker farm. Alrighty, we are over at the shulker farm, and this thing is really, really cool. This was built by our redstone wizard incumbent, Zavam. Zavam has helped me out with a couple projects already this season. I've mentioned him several times. He's an awesome guy. But anyway, he has designed this farm, and it is fully automatic. I mean, you do have to place blocks and everything, but the shulkers are killed automatically. They're drowned in water. It's pretty simple. I'll demonstrate that for you guys in just a sec. But let me show you guys the instructions on how to use the farm before we actually get started. So, can be used by 4 players at once. Each station has 6 cells and its own collection barrel. Killing is automatic. Looting for heads is optional with slight risk. Open a trapdoor and place a purple block on the observer face. The water turns off. Stand on and aim at the purple block. Toss pearls to spawn an endermite. Jump out, closing the trapdoor. It's auto kill, so move on to your next cell. Place no blocks. So if you actually do place blocks, the shulkers can teleport to them, and it'll be a bad time. Set spawn at bed. Have food and watch your health. Sweeping edge can kill adjacent endermites. If you destroy water, refill bucket. Place on dispenser face, but empty buckets inside dispenser. And then the visitor log, which I've already put my name down. So once again, the data pack is if you place down a purple block and spawn an endermite on top of it, eventually within a minute or so, the purple block will turn into a live shulker. And what will happen with this farm is the shulkers will have nowhere to teleport to, so they will just drown, and all of the shulker shells will end up in this barrel here. And you can see I already tested it out and was able to get a shulker to spawn. So it'll probably take a while to get some shulkers. I mean, I want to try and get at least enough for a stack of shulkers for now, because I wasn't aware that this takes quite a while to spawn the shulkers. But anyway, I'm going to demonstrate how this works right now. So essentially, we just open up the trapdoor. There's the observer right there. We place the purple block on that observer. The water goes away. Then we stand on top of the purple block and spawn ender pearls until we can get an endermite to spawn. And of course, we want to try and not die. So we'll only throw a couple more ender pearls, and then we're going to have to eat to get our health back up. Of course, there is a couple beacons as well that give you resistance and jump. I don't know if armor will help, but I was kind of paranoid about using my armor because in case I did die, I don't want to lose it. So yes, there you go. I do have my spawn set here. Like I said, I may end up taking my tools and stuff out of my inventory just in case I do die, because I have a feeling I'm gonna mess up and end up dead. But anyway, this is essentially how you use it. We finally got an endermite to spawn on top of this purple block, so within a minute or two, that will turn into a live shulker. The water will turn back on, drown the shulker, and once again, all of the items will end up in this barrel over here. So I didn't expect this to be so slow, I didn't realize that the endermites wouldn't be spawning as effectively as I thought. I mean, you should get an endermite for each stack of ender pearls. I mean, it might take a little bit longer. Depending on how your luck is, it might take a few more or even a few less. I mean, I've thrown ender pearls randomly before and got endermites to spawn, but of course, when I want them to, they don't. So I'm going to be chilling here for a while, and we'll see how many shulkers we can get before I lose my mind and want to move on to something else. All right, I've been at this for a bit, and it looks like we have 34 shulker shells so far. That is enough for 17 shulker boxes, which is pretty decent. But I recently just did an efficiency update. I put all of my armor on and enchanted my boots with feather falling, because technically ender pearls give you fall damage. So with the feather falling, I am able to do this a lot more efficiently now. Before, I was only able to throw like 6 to 10 ender pearls before I had to stop and eat. Now I can throw like over a whole stack of them. So that was extremely lucky. I got an endermite right there. So I'll put down the purple block here, and I'll show you if I just plop into here, I can literally just spam ender pearls for quite a while before I have to come up and eat. So definitely an efficiency improvement. I'm gonna keep grinding. I'm so glad that I was able to pick up feather falling for my boots. That like doubled or probably even tripled the efficiency at which I was able to use the farm. And we are all done with a stack of shulkers. So we got 2 stacks of shulker shells, which essentially is 1 stack of shulker boxes, and I'm pretty sure that will hold us off for quite a while to be able to keep our storage system as efficient as possible, since we only have 1 double chest per item. So I'm gonna jet back over to the base, and I'm gonna start consolidating down some of the storage. I do have a few chests that, a few chests items that have more than 1 double chest, because I have so much of it, like cobblestone and regular stone and black stone. But I'm gonna consolidate it all down to 1 chest per item, and if we exceed the single chest of items, then we're gonna start using the shulker boxes, and it's gonna be super efficient. It's gonna be awesome. So I'm heading back to the base. So we have been making excellent progress on the base. We have all of the spires switched out. The yellow concrete for the gold blocks. We've filled up a ton of the spires with farms. We have the netherwood farm in the tower directly behind me, the sugarcane farm in the tower that I'm standing on, the mob farm in the tall tower out there, and the bamboo farms in the twin towers, which are kind of hidden by the big central tower right there. And the last tower that we have to add something to is this tiny one right behind me. Now, I was thinking for a while what I could put in this one, and then it finally hit me, because in this episode I said we were going to make some progress on the last indoor room in the base, which is down underneath that little patio you can see behind me. And we're going to be building the villager trading hall, like I said. Now, in order to have a villager trading hall, we need a villager breeder, and it turns out that my villager breeder design that I built in my single player world actually fits perfectly inside of the tower directly behind me. So that's what we're going to be building to wrap up this episode. So I'm probably not going to make any progress with the actual trading hall in this episode, but next episode we definitely will make progress. But I want to get the villager breeder up and running, and I already have the design ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. We're going to do that in a third-person time-lapse to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoy, and roll that music! Working with villagers is always a bit of a pain, but we were able to get this bad boy into place with little to no effort, actually. In this case, it was pretty painless. But anyway, let me show you guys what we ended up with. So in this tower right here, we have our villager breeder ready to go. We still need one more villager, however, to complete it, which I'll probably grab off camera. And I just realized I have game sounds off. I sometimes turn it off while I'm working just for a little bit of peace and quiet. But yeah, so you can hear he's not supposed to be there, so we're gonna have to move him. I'm not sure how he could have got down there. I think sometimes the villagers over here can actually glitch themselves into the beds. I thought that they fixed that in 1.16, but I guess they didn't. So we're gonna have to move him back into the little farming area right here, which we set up. It's basically like a diamond shape or like a sideways diagonal square sort of thing, and it's just a carrot farm where the farmer, who is supposed to be in there doing his job, will collect up all of the carrots. And right here where he is standing right now in the incorrect place is where the 2 breeder villagers will go, and he will throw the carrots to the breeder villagers. They will collect them up, and since we actually have 4 beds directly underneath where the breeders are chilling, they will interpret that there are open beds for more villagers to be bred, and they will make a baby, and the baby will fall down here, and we'll have a water stream to lead them down into a collection system, which I'll be setting up most likely in next episode. So it was pretty painless getting this guy in here. I'm not sure which one he is, if he was Dr. whatever or the other guy. I can't remember their names. Whatever. You guys can put their names down in the comments. I can't remember. But anyway, we were able to get him pretty easily, as you guys saw in the time lapse. We popped him up and over and dropped him down into the farm. So before I go, I think the fix for this, I actually have carpet right there, and I think the glitch, it's technically not a glitch, I guess it's just the fact that the villagers can kind of see through here, is there's a tiny little gap between the dirt and the carpet, which means that this guy could technically see the bed, which would mean he could technically activate it and sleep in it, which I think is what he did. They were able to do that in 1.15. I didn't think they were able to do that in 1.16, but I guess I was wrong, so we're gonna have to fix that. But anyway, ladies and gents, that is all the time I have for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please do not hesitate to hit that thumbs up. If you missed the previous episodes in the season so far, I linked the playlists in every episode down in the description, so you guys can go check out the entire series for this season from episode 1. Go ahead and check that out. Make sure if you guys like Minecraft tutorials, I have a Minecraft tutorial in 3 minutes or less series going on my channel. I upload a video in that series once a week. Go and check that out. And if you guys like the channel so far, hit that subscribe button, the bell for notifications, and tell all your friends. I stream every Wednesday and Sunday if you guys want to come hang out with me live. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right, thank you guys so much. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.